Alright folks, let's take a stroll through The Hunger Games, a movie that somehow manages to make child murder the centerpiece of entertainment. That's right, a dystopian reality TV show where kids kill each other for sport. But it's okay, because it's all in the name of societal control. Welcome to Panem, the dystopian hellscape that's part Orwellian nightmare, part reality TV, and 100% insanity. The Hunger Games. Now, here's a title that says, we're not messing around. But let's break this down, shall we? We've got a world where the government is so twisted, they decided that the best way to keep people in line is to force their children to kill each other on live TV. Because nothing says we care about our citizens like turning their kids into gladiators for public amusement. It's like American Idol, but with a lot more blood and a lot less talent. So, the story kicks off in District 12, a charming little shantytown where poverty is the local hobby and coal mining is the only career option. This is where we meet our heroine, Katniss Everdeen. She's a tough, no-nonsense girl who's got more survival skills than a Swiss Army knife. She's out there hunting in the woods, shooting arrows like Robin Hood, and generally doing whatever it takes to keep her family from starving to death. Because in Panem, if you don't die in the games, you might just die from hunger. Hence, the name. Now, let's talk about this whole reaping business. Every year, the capital, the big, shiny, corrupt city holds a lottery where they pick one boy and one girl from each district to fight to the death. They call it the Hunger Games. And get this, it's supposed to be an honor. Like, congratulations, you've won a one-way ticket to the arena where you'll probably get skewered by some psychopath with a machete. But at least you get to be on TV. So, when Katniss's little sister, Prim, gets picked, because of course, it's the most innocent, wide-eyed kid who gets the short straw, Katniss steps up and volunteers to take her place. Because if there's one thing that will get the audience on your side, it's self-sacrifice. And just like that, Katniss becomes the girl on fire. Not literally, though. That comes later, thanks to some fancy pyrotechnics. Because in a world where child murder is primetime entertainment, they've still gotta put on a good show. Now, let's introduce Peter Mellark, the boy tribute from District 12. He's a baker's son with the most wholesome backstory you could imagine. He once threw Katniss some burnt bread when she was starving. And this is supposed to be a big, romantic gesture. Because nothing says I love you like stale bread from the garbage. But in Panem, that's basically a wedding proposal. So, off they go to the capital, where they're paraded around like show ponies in the most ridiculous outfits imaginable. Seriously, the fashion in the capital makes Lady Gaga look like she shops at flea market. It's all about making a spectacle. Bright colors, crazy hairstyles, and enough makeup to make a clown blush. The people of the capital are so disconnected from reality that they think this whole deathmatch is just good fun. It's like they took the worst parts of reality TV and combined them with the worst parts of humanity, and then gave it all a makeover from hell. Enter Hamish Abernathy, the mentor who's supposed to help Katniss and Peeta survive. He's a former winner of the Hunger Games, but now he's a washed-up drunk who spends most of his time face down in a bottle. And who can blame him? If you had to train kids to kill each other year after year, you'd probably drink yourself into oblivion, too. Haymitch is the kind of guy who's seen it all, done it all, and is now just waiting for the sweet release of death. But instead, he's stuck trying to sober up long enough to give some half-decent advice. And what's his big strategy? Stay alive. Thanks, Haymitch, real helpful. But in a game where the odds are never in your favor, that's probably the best advice you're gonna get. So, the games begin, and we're treated to the spectacle of 24 kids, some barely out of diapers, killing each other in the most brutal ways possible. It's like Lord of the Flies, but with more weapons and less hope for humanity. And let's not forget the sponsors. Yes, because this is a TV show after all, and nothing says entertainment like corporate sponsorships. Rich people in the capital can send gifts to the tributes they like the most. It's like if Survivor had a bloodthirsty fan base with deep pockets. Katniss, being the badass she is, manages to survive the initial bloodbath by hiding in the trees. Because in a world where everyone's trying to kill you, sometimes the best strategy is to just get the hell out of the way. Meanwhile, Peeta's off pretending to be in love with Katniss to win sympathy points. And here's the kicker, he's not really pretending. He's had a crush on her since forever, but Katniss is too busy not dying to notice. But the capital's not satisfied with just a few deaths here and there. No, they've got to keep things interesting, so they start throwing in all kinds of obstacles, fireballs, killer wasps, mutant dogs. You know, just to keep the ratings up. It's like a sick, twisted version of Wipeout where the losers don't just get wet, they get dead. And then there's the infamous berry scene. Katniss and Peeta, the last two standing, decide to stick it to the capital by threatening to eat some poisonous berries and kill themselves rather than kill each other. It's the ultimate middle finger to the system. But of course, the capital can't have that. They swoop in, declare them both winners, and we all get to pretend that it was a happy ending. But you know what? It's not. Because nothing in this world is. It's all just a sick game where the people in power use fear, violence, and manipulation to keep everyone else in line. And that, my friends, is the Hunger Games in a nutshell. A story about how the human race, when left to its own devices, can come up with some of the most twisted, messed up ways to control each other. It's a movie that tries to make a point about power, oppression, and the human spirit, but really, it's just a reminder that when it comes to entertainment, there's no limit to how low we'll sink.